We often think of history's great wonders. The pyramids of Giza stand tall against the desert sky. The Great Wall of China snakes across mountains. These are magnificent sights, known to us all. They are symbols of human ingenuity and power. But what about the wonders that have vanished? What about the masterpieces that now live only in stories and whispers? They were once as famous as any landmark we know today. They drew travelers from across the ancient world. Yet time and nature have claimed them, leaving behind only echoes. These lost wonders are not just piles of rubble. They are clues to our shared past. They tell us about the ambitions and dreams of ancient civilizations. Imagine a world where a giant bronze statue straddled a harbor, or a lighthouse so tall its fire could be seen from 100 miles away. These were not fantasies, they were real places built by human hands. Their stories are tales of creation and destruction. Exploring these forgotten marvels is like embarking on a great adventure, a journey back in time. The list of wonders we know today is not the only one. The famous 7 wonders of the ancient world included many structures that no longer exist. Only the Great Pyramid of Giza has survived the relentless march of time. The others have crumbled, been torn down, or vanished. Their memory, however, endures in the writings of ancient historians and poets. These texts are like treasure maps. They guide archaeologists and historians, helping them piece together the puzzles of what was lost. It is a remarkable process of rediscovery, turning legend back into history. We will travel to see some of these hidden masterpieces. We will journey to the shores of the Mediterranean and the dusty plains of Mesopotamia. We will uncover the stories of structures that defied imagination. We will learn why they were built and what cataclysmic events led to their demise. We will see how modern science is helping us to see these wonders once more. It is a chance to appreciate the incredible creativity of our ancestors and to understand that even the mightiest creations can be fragile. History's lost wonders are waiting to be found again. Imagine sailing across the dark Mediterranean Sea. For centuries, sailors navigated by the stars. But as they approached the coast of Egypt, a new star would appear on the horizon. This was no star. It was the pharaohs of Alexandria, the Great Lighthouse, one of the tallest structures of the ancient world. Standing on a small island, it guided ships into the bustling harbor of Alexandria. Its light was a beacon of hope and a symbol of the city's wealth and knowledge. A wonder to behold. The lighthouse was not just practical, a masterpiece of engineering and art. Built around 280 BC during the reign of Ptolemy II, said to be over 100 meters tall, like a 30-story building. Constructed in 3 stages, a massive square base, an octagonal middle section, and a circular tower at the top. Inside, a great fire burned day and night. A giant curved mirror, possibly polished bronze, reflected the fire, casting a powerful beam far out to sea. For over 1,000 years it stood as a sentinel. It witnessed empires, Ptolemies, Romans and beyond, a center for scientific study, a tourist attraction drawing visitors from across the known world. People climbed its internal ramp to marvel from the top, but nothing lasts forever. Powerful earthquakes between the 10th and 14th centuries chipped away at it. Each tremor brought it closer to ruin. The final blow came in 1375. A devastating quake reduced the tower to a pile of stones. For a time, rubble remained. In the 15th century, the Sultan built a fortress on the site using fallen masonry. The wonder was gone. For centuries, its location was a mystery. In 1994, archaeologists diving in the harbor discovered huge granite blocks and submerged statues. They had found the lost remains of the pharaohs. These silent stones are all that remain of the light that once guided the world. Of all the lost wonders, none is more mysterious than the Hanging Gardens of Babylon. Ancient writers described a breathtaking spectacle, a man-made mountain of lush greenery rising from the flat, arid plains of Mesopotamia. It was a paradise of terraces filled with trees, shrubs, and flowers from distant lands. Water, a precious resource in the desert, was said to have been ingeniously lifted to the highest levels to irrigate the plants. Imagine the sight, a cascade of green in the middle of a sun-baked city. It must have seemed like a miracle, a gift from the gods. The story goes that the gardens were built by King Nebuchadnezzar II around 600 BC. He supposedly created them for his wife Amytis, who was homesick for the green hills and valleys of her native Media. It was a romantic gesture on an epic scale. The gardens were designed to replicate her homeland, a place of cool shade and vibrant life. If the tales are true, it was a remarkable feat of engineering and horticulture. To keep such a garden alive in the searing heat of what is now modern-day Iraq, would have required a complex and constant supply of water, likely drawn from the nearby Euphrates River. The importance of the gardens was immense. They were a symbol of the king's power and his ability to command nature itself. To create and sustain such a marvel demonstrated not only his wealth, but also his technical prowess. It was a statement to the world that Babylon was the center of civilization. However, the story of the Hanging Gardens is shrouded in doubt. Despite extensive excavations at the site of ancient Babylon, archaeologists have found no conclusive evidence that the gardens ever existed there. There are no Babylonian records that mention them, which is very strange for such a famous landmark. This lack of evidence has led to a fascinating theory. Perhaps the gardens were not in Babylon at all. Some scholars now believe the ancient writers confused Babylon with another great city, Nineveh. The powerful Assyrian king Sennacherib ruled from Nineveh, and his own records describe a magnificent palace garden. He wrote of a wonder for all peoples with exotic plants and an innovative water screw to lift water. Could this be the true Hanging Gardens? The rediscovery in this case might be a rereading of history itself, moving this lost wonder from one city to another, solving a puzzle that has endured for millennia. On the Greek island of Rhodes, at the entrance to its harbor, once stood a giant. This was not a man of flesh and blood, but a statue made of bronze. It was the Colossus of Rhodes, a depiction of the Greek sun god, Helios. It was built to celebrate a great military victory, when the people of Rhodes successfully defended their island against a powerful invader. To thank their patron god, they decided to build the largest statue the world had ever seen. They melted down the enemy's abandoned siege equipment and used the metal to cast their magnificent protector. Completed around 280 BC, the Colossus was a true marvel of ancient engineering. It was said to be over 30 meters tall, about the same height as the Statue of Liberty in New York. For centuries, people believed it stood with one foot on either side of the harbor entrance, with ships sailing between its legs. However, modern engineers believe this would have been impossible to build. It is more likely that the statue stood on a pedestal to one side of the harbor, a towering figure greeting all who arrived by sea. Its bronze skin would have shone brilliantly in the Mediterranean sun. The Colossus was more than just a statue. It was a powerful symbol of unity, freedom, and gratitude. It represented the triumph of a small island state against a mighty empire. It declared to the world that the people of Rhodes were strong and under the protection of their god. For just over 50 years, it stood as a beacon of their success. Travelers came from far and wide just to gaze upon it. It was a wonder that inspired awe and captured the imagination of all who saw it. Its fame spread throughout the ancient world, securing its place on the list of wonders. Its reign, however, was tragically short. In 226 BC, a powerful earthquake shook the island of Rhodes. The mighty bronze statue snapped at its knees and came crashing down onto the land. The king of Egypt offered to pay for its reconstruction, but an oracle advised the people of Rhodes not to rebuild it. And so, the giant lay where it fell for over 800 years. The enormous ruins became a tourist attraction in their own right. Finally, in the 7th century AD, invaders captured the island, broke the statue into smaller pieces, and sold the bronze as scrap metal. The giant was gone, melted down, and lost to history forever. The stories of these lost wonders, the lighthouse, the gardens, the Colossus, are more than just interesting tales. They are powerful reminders of the fragility of human achievement. The grandest structures, designed to last for eternity, can be brought down by an earthquake, a fire, or simply the slow decay of time. What survives, however, is the memory. These memories, passed down through ancient texts and oral traditions, are like faint whispers from the past. They challenge us to listen closely, to piece together the clues, and to imagine the world as it once was. The process of rediscovery is a remarkable adventure in itself. It is not always about digging in the dirt. Sometimes it involves deciphering a cryptic passage in an ancient scroll, or using satellite imagery to spot the faint outline of a forgotten city. When divers found the submerged stones of the Pharos, they were not just finding rocks, they were touching a piece of a legend. When historians propose that the Hanging Gardens were in Nineveh, they are not just correcting a fact, they are breathing new life into a 2,000-year-old mystery. Every discovery, no matter how small, adds a new chapter to our human story. These rediscoveries teach us a valuable lesson. They show us that history is not a closed book. There are still so many secrets buried beneath our feet and hidden in plain sight. The world is a vast museum, and there are countless exhibits still waiting to be found. The ruins of these wonders teach us about ancient engineering, art, and culture. They reveal the ambitions, fears, and beliefs of people who lived thousands of years ago. By studying what they built and what happened to their creations, we learn more about our own capacity for greatness and our own vulnerabilities. So let us keep searching. Let us remain curious. We should encourage the archaeologists, the historians, and the divers who dedicate their lives to uncovering these hidden treasures. Let us visit museums, read old stories, and look at the world around us with a sense of wonder. There are forgotten masterpieces everywhere, from vast, lost cities to small, overlooked artifacts. Each one has a story to tell. By seeking them out, we honor the ingenuity of our ancestors and ensure that their magnificent achievements, even when lost to time, are never truly forgotten.